Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to start assembling my Week in the Life album. I will give you a few of the highlights right now. It turned out to be a much busier, complicated week than expected. The highlights, if you've been, I think I've been mentioning it in my other videos. We have to sell our house that we're in because our new house of new construction is done 2 months early. And so everything is getting rushed. So doing this week, I've been packing everything else. So it was just not my typical week I thought I was gonna have. But I couldn't push it because the house is more bare since the selling of our home. So that's the background. Also, I've already started a little bit with the printing of my photos and putting this in semi-order of what I want. I am also missing a few photos that I still have to print, but I figured it's still something where I can show you some of the footage of me putting these together because I have ideas and thoughts since my last video as to what to do. So a few things that we're gonna do, I'm gonna have to print out all my journaling. And remember I had, is it right here? I had pre-cut. Okay, so I had pre-cut all of these. Ooh, so that one's got messy. To be the back side of, get it framed. Okay, so as the album starts, I always start it with an 8x10. I do have these printed except for Sundays, so this will be Monday. And on the back side, I had these pre-cut to go there, and that way my journaling would go there because I truly had every intention of writing it out, which I still might, but when I was at work each day, I started printing them. So for instance, this is just like our standard schedule. So if I print them, you know, these are almost become unnecessary, but this is copy paper. So I could just adhere it here because it's paper. And so I want to stamp out Monday, Tuesday, etc. for all of them because some of my journaling, the long journaling, can go here. So that's one project. Also, I have the variations in sizes. So I have some 5x7s, I have 4x6s. I put these in each day, and I do like them as a floating element if you have bought this year's kit, but I'm not in love with it as a floating element. So I will be cutting different pattern papers to put behind it so that they pop up a little bit more. So we'll do some of that filling in. And I do have them according, like stuck in here a little bit just without the holes so that I can walk you through some of it on how I'm gonna add acetate to make them clear. Some of them I do know I want to add tags or journaling bits on there, so if it's clear sticker paper, so I'll walk you through that. I do have the newspaper for the days too, so this will go in, but I'll be honest, I forgot a few days. So some of the days don't have it, but it does have a majority of like the abortion debates that were going on and stuff, so the relevant stuff, but like I think I missed like 2 days of recording it, so things like that. I do have some of these which were 8x10, like for instance this one was Mondays, so I did a collage of 2 and printed them on 8x10s, and then I'll have separate stories per, so that's a size 2. So I was conscious of printing them with size variation. I just wanted that key focus in my album this year. So again, there'll be pattern paper here so I can put another photo. So I do have, you know, Tuesday's pictures, you know, this was all Tuesday, etc., so far in here, but we'll do some of that crafting stuff in the sped up footage. The other portion I want to show is so this is a lot of stuff that's out. I had still no idea what to do with these square cards because I didn't do the 8x10 photo. So I am going to keep this as the facts and feelings. I am at this point typing them even though I have my notes on per day. But what I'm going to do, so if you see up here, I have the tiled cards, you know, per day. And I cut circles out of the ephemera bits that I kept per day. So you can see some of them here. But these are 4x6. So in order to have them in and use these, I'm going to cut off the last 2, or the first 2, you should say, to make them both squares. So that way it'll show the gratitude, and then, you know, as you flip it, it'll show the memorabilia for the day. So I went to like my Ulta order came in here. So things like that. So that's what it's going to look like. So this will be an insert with it as well. So this gives you ideas on what I'm doing. So I have all of them sit. And I think I have at least 3 per day, is what this is all sitting here as. So I have all of them here, so we'll work on that. And then since I did lenses, I did do a lens per day with my journaling. However, I will be honest, I'm going to be alternating some of the photos that could go on any day if I need the space filled. So for instance, you know, with this picture, for instance, of her playing a balloon, she literally did this every night. So wherever I need a filler kind of moment, I can put this in, is what I mean by having some of these photos that can go on any day. Similarly, for some of these, like Snuggles on the Stairs, like this one too, I do this every day. So it's just a matter of having some extras like this that are not necessarily day specific, because I have day specific photos already in my album, so that we can work on things like that. I am truly going to save the embellishing aspect for the last part, because I'm not sure where I want to keep all these, but I do have them all like readily on my desk. So we'll put some of these together, the ephemera, we'll write out the gratitude, we'll do some of the stamping, and we'll put some of those cute pages together. So here I still have some of the pages, you know, from the newspaper. I have plenty of those still. But again, like this card, like I can't remember specifically when this day happened, but for me, sometimes photos like this can be, you know, put on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. This is our daily life. So I just have a lot of these fillers. So that's the process behind some of the last photos here. And then I will be honest, I am finding it very hard to figure out how to use these acetate cases. And you want to know why? And the same with here, the foiled hearts. I like just don't know how to incorporate them. And I bought the stitched hearts too. And again, I'm just not finding a way to use these, simply because also, if you remember, I bought last year's album and they came with these dividers that have the Monday. So I didn't want to, like, you know, double put that on and block it. If I didn't buy this kit, I would use these. So I might just maybe save these for next year in case they're a plainer thing. Plus, what I'm also not loving about them is that I wish the Wednesday and the day of the week was down here, because no matter if you put a photo or a tag or something in it, it gets blocked. So these are just my troubles as I've been putting this together and printing photos, that I'm just kind of like, like I'm stuck with this. I really don't know what to do with these, because you know what I find though with this kit, and it's just a personal preference, other than having these, there's no small embellishment. And I'm really, if you know me too, I'm really not a fan of wood veneers because this is always too chunky for me. You know, we have these, but there's only a few cards. I just don't know. I just find that these in general too are just large. So even like, for instance, with this, you know, it takes away from a lot what I have in the photo. I don't have negative space in instance for this one, but they're just bigger embellishments that I find it hard to place on 4x6 photos, let alone something that's do I have a 3x4 photo quickly? What was that one? You know, like even with the 3x4, like the embellishments are just large. Like, yeah, I could put these, but thankfully they came with smaller ones. I just remember there was more size variation in previous kits. And the same with these, like they don't quite fit in the 3x4 pocket. Then they would be in a 4x6 pocket, but then they too, it's, you know, it's, I don't know. I find it, I feel like I'm stuck creatively a little bit with these larger embellishments, including this one, this additional one. So I may honestly not use these right now. Like I said, I'm just really stuck. So let's get these all together. I'll take you through this process. We'll see where I can add some embellishments. We're going to do the stamping. We're going to put these together with these so that they're in the book. And let's just start there. So I'll put you on fast forward. I'll clear this off a little. I just wanted to show you a little bit of everything, as this is my process for this year's week in the life. To get like some of these so I don't lose them. And these are a good size, but you know, like I said, when we're at the embellishment part, like this is not so bad, but they're just bigger for the 3x4 photos that you have, because it could be taking up a lot of space. So I just find a lot of it is an odd shape when I just remember having smaller things Like I'll use probably all of these. These are great because I always remember having phrase stickers. I'm trying to remember, like the chipboard may have been different sizes, so it was a little bit better to put them on. But definitely in hindsight, I love them, but I just feel like these are just large elements to use. Unless I just make them as like a 3x4 moment, you know, and have them independently, that could work. But I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to use these this year. I'm not going to use these. They're going to be in my stash. And, you know, maybe I'll do a story in the future because maybe they could be in a 6x8, you know, as a 4-page square or something. And I thought about using these for the gratitude and just like putting one hole there so that they would always dangle and move. But again, then if I use that for this, then I'll be sitting on these square cards in my stash. And I just don't use square a lot. So I definitely wanted to utilize this plus these. And I was like, oh, I was going to make it a flip. But when I thought about cutting them down and just limiting how much stuff I kept per day, that made me happier. Because I think like Sunday, for instance, there might not be, Sunday I was doing things. Maybe it was Saturday. You know, I went to a nursery and stuff, so that takes up a lot of it. Enough chit chat. One other note too about even the pleather pieces. Again, I am just finding them very large to work with because last year they gave you little cork pieces with the days of the week, and I put those over my daily photos. So for instance too, I told you I was doing the Valentina's dresses, so I have to print a few more. But once again, it's like if I put them on a 3x4, it just blocks too much. So once again, I'm like, what do I do? And then I was just like, I can add it, you know, to it too. So I might just do that in order to have them used. Or these two might be getting saved till next year because I just find them larger to work with, and which makes it a little bit difficult for me this year because I think I'm in such a routine with accomplishing this that sometimes when you're thrown just a different size, like I said, for me, this might just be a me struggle with this year's kit. So I pulled out this LE Studio one, and so I might just stamp these on like vellum. So my thought was this, like if I just had these, because it was standard, if it was just like Monday kind of fits in the corners, you know, Tuesday, going vertical in this spot, each photo. And on vellum, it would haze it out enough so that it stood out, and just do it in black, maybe emboss it on vellum. But I just thought that, you know, for Wednesday, even Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so this is Wednesday. It just fits there a little bit better. Or even if I just did it like across her belly, the word is not that tall where it would interfere with the rest of the photo. So that's why I have that set pulled up, which I'm glad I have in my collection. So enough chit-chatting. Let's put some of these pages together and accomplish what we're here to accomplish. So let's get started with the memorabilia part of my album. So I loved that the 4x4 was available, and I love that I could cut these 4x6s down to suit it as well. Now, things that I kept just to keep an idea, like receipts from foods, packaging from food. It was the day after Mother's Day, so I got like a new Yeti, which is what you saw. I did an order at Ulta, so I got some new makeup, and so I just cut pieces out of the makeup. I buy plants at nurseries, and so I punch out the receipts or have the business cards from the companies and nurseries I visit. I even have one of those receipts is a gas receipt to show how expensive it has been the last few days. So it just really worked out to kind of get a little snapshot too of what you kind of go through and use and collect throughout the week. I did this as just a last big page collage last year, and so I like that I was able to break it down per day this year, and I left enough room to hole punch and keep it into the album quite neatly. Okay, that worked out perfectly. I do have one coming for the receipt from Home Depot for a plant I purchased. So all of them are punched. One of them did get messed up because it was bound to happen. I adhered the back card upside down, but at least I can go in now and do all my journaling. But this is what this little insert will look like in my book. I hope you consider doing something like this with your little memorabilias for the day, and then keeping the 4x4 card in the back of it. So let's move on to the next little task. So I've gone ahead already and stamped Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and left is Sunday. I've done them all in different colors. just so that they complement the page afterwards. The only one I'm not happy with is Thursday. My color, it was Hickory Smoke. It stamped rather splotchy. But they're all really cute, and I'm using the stamp from Ellie Edwards. So let's finish up this one with chipped sapphire. It will be housed with this one and the other side on the back side, and then this is the page that will coordinate it on this side. So I picked the blue from the pattern paper I selected. This is a classic alpha to have from the Ellie Edwards collection. If you didn't pick this up, or if you still can, I would highly recommend it. It's just a classic clean alpha, not too big, not too small, can fit, you know, quite a number of letters across for a word, including the days of the week. So I really enjoyed this alphabet stamp for this project, and I can't wait to have it in my collection to use over and over again. So that way all my long journaling will go on these cards that I've stamped out. Let's turn the packaging from the week in the life into a little flip moment. I feel like I'm just going to cut the seam with this side here, and that way I will mount it onto a piece of paper there, punch the holes here, and then since it is seamed already here, I'll have it flip out once the tie is undone. And so we'll make this. I need to keep the flap, and I need to keep this front panel, and maybe we can make something out of this side too. But let's start deconstructing it, and we'll put this together. Haven't decided on what photo is going to go into it, but I thought you'd like to see how I make this. Did change my mind on the scrapbook paper, so I'm using this beautiful Maggie Holmes one, and as I cut it out, I just left an inch extra right there. You saw you kind of flapping it in order to house the flap of the envelope. I thought it was a simple way to get the look I was going for. So you can either do it this way, or maybe just cut the extra inch off of the back of the packaging. That way you'll already have the ability to use it as a flap. So either way is a good version. I just went this way, so that way when you open up the flap, that pattern paper would be a continuation to the top, and it worked out perfectly actually. And then because we kept the seam on the bottom part, all you have to do is add a little bit of adhesive and attach it there at the bottom too, and that way you have both able to be opened like so. And so I will put a 5x7 photo in there with some journaling and a piece of chipboard, and that will be that page. Here's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm going to use one of these tags. Vale wrote her name on a post-it, and I feel like it fits perfectly in there. So then I might just write some journaling on how far she's come with her name writing. I took everything out of the album because I didn't want to damage it too much and open and close the rings a lot. So this is my pile, as I've already sorted through some of the photos that I want to use, printed some more out, and I just sent one more order just to Walgreens to get the last of them printed, so that I can definitely just sit and kind of put it together next, but just so that you can see where we're at right now. So Monday we have the photo, and that'll be where the journaling is. I've deconstructed the packaging, as you saw, and so this is the back side of it. So I feel like this picture with my caladiums will kind of just sit here, and I'll have journaling back here. Anytime there's a picture like this, it means I'm making it into a flap on this page, which will hold more journaling or more cards. I did go ahead and use all of the 3x4 cards from Ellie Edwards. This one I am still, actually, is it up here? I think I just brought it up. Wawa, Pizza Hut. There's another receipt that I need. I've stuck this together and hole punched it, but I haven't decided if I'm gonna have a tag or just keep it as is and maybe do a sticker for journaling. So that's why this is hole punched, but not secure yet. I went ahead and did all of my newspaper covers. This is like what I ate, so this is just a different page size. In the back side, I'm going to have some pattern paper with journaling about the book I read that week, and then we'll keep on going. So it needs the stamping. So I have like a good layout on what things are going to be. These two were from, I want to say these are Studio Calico cards, so the best things and worst things. This too will be a flap here of us going to gymnastics. And so you can see that there is a formula so far of my story. So it's Snuggles with Maui, so we both kind of hug him in our own way. That'll be a flap. Story that goes with that. You just saw me put this one together, so I need to adhere this still, but I did go ahead and adhere that card, or that photo. I did the journaling on clear sticker paper and also on the back side here, so that one's ready to go. These two will be punched together. So you can see that the stem work is here. I just have to fill in all the cards. I did on Thursday, so this one's all done, was currently. So in addition to the story of the days and like what we did, I've already put this one together. So working, loving, dreaming, listening, driving, cleaning, eating, buying, playing, watching, and drinking. Friday, I still need to put pattern paper behind this one, but buying more plants. These two will get adhered back to back. Some of her little schoolwork pages I thought was great for the end of the week. Singing here. Oh, I didn't adhere these two. So see, there's still some work to get done. This one too, I think I was just trying to have a flap just to show that I bought another plant this week. Like, I think I brought 3 plants this week. No judgment. Saturday, so we're coming along. So on here, I added a strip of just cardstock in order to keep the map of the Wine Country Safari there. I put the receipt, like address from there. I added that. This is where we're at. And the same with Sunday morning, we went to Denny's for some pancakes, and I kept Vale's drawing, and she learned how to play tic-tac-toe this morning. And so I put that in here also with just a piece of cardstock. So we still have some work to do, but I just wanted to kind of check in real quick because I do tend to work on it like bit by bit. So this is just where we're at before we work on the next level of it. And of course, I will have a flip through of it completed, but we are really good standing right now. This is a lot of, half the hard work is getting all your pictures printed and selected, you know?
So I figured out how to use one of those gold hearts, and so I made a little kind of swivel right there. I took one of the brads that I usually use for December Daily, and I put it between 2 5x7 photos and put my journaling when we went to Lion Country Safari. So it was just a simple way to hide it and use a heart. So this is where I'm at right now. So I am just showing you a few of like the pages where I kind of showed you before where I'm at with the project. I'm going to continue on making my pages, and so I do have these 4x8s to use, and I think I found a place for these little leather pieces. So even for this one, I'm showing you that I'm using a piece of like acetate. It's actually packaging from like a Barbie doll. I keep packaging so that way I have inserts to do it so that it's clear. I don't have to poke holes and punch holes into the photo itself. This one I used a little tag on the bottom and adhered it quite so that it would come in and out, and I used the Friday. And then here's that one here I was showing you, so I got the footage out of order, where I made that little hinge using one of those big hearts. I'm showing you here that a couple of my pages for 4x6 pockets I made into flaps just using copy paper. It's just a 2-inch piece, and I folded it in half, and that way it creates an opening for some of these as well. Then here I am still making some of these, so I didn't want to poke holes in the photos itself, so I'm adding scrapbook paper to be the extra paper needed to punch the holes for these. And on these 4x8s, I am using those little pleather numbers or letters for the days of the week, and kind of strategically putting them so that they have the most impact and not blocking a whole lot of the photo. And some of them I am using some extra 3x4 cards I have in my collection from either Coco Daisy or Studio Calico, or I also have Elf Studio cards too. So you'll see a kind of a variety of them, because like I mentioned earlier, I feel like there was not enough cards in the Ali Edwards kit. I'm not sure. I can't remember why this kit feels so weird this year or out of the ordinary compared to the last 2 years of me getting the kit. So it was definitely a little hard on the creative side, like I was mentioning in the beginning, to figure out how to use all of them. So here I am too, still just kind of thumbing through it. So once I finish up my pages like this, I will go in and embellish with these like tiny phrase stickers that are black, and then all of the chipboard pieces. So stay tuned for the flip through, and you will see it all complete with its embellishments, and I'm hoping to get it done before our official move into our new house, because then I have to unpack. Thank you for joining me. Till next video. Bye.